Well, hey there, Bronco fans. It's Shad and Danny, and welcome to this week's edition of Bronco Planet. Shaddy, you know, this was a game that we had circled on the calendar that it was a game. Once again, we find ourselves traveling all the way to Foxborough, and let's just call it what it is, Shad. Believe me, before we even get into this, we're just going to qualify ourselves right here, right now, as quite possibly two of the biggest Bronco fans that have ever walked this earth. But my God, what a stinker, Shad.
It's a somber edition of Bronco Planet, Danny.
Sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even know where to start. Let's go with this question, Danny. If you think back of all the Broncos, you've been watching Broncos since you were a knee-high to a grasshopper.
Sure.
Is there any Bronco that has played worse against his former team than Wes Welker?
Maybe Talib, but probably so.
Maybe it's part of the New England thing. I don't know. Maybe you got some payback going on there, but yeah, both.
You know something, folks. We're just going to rewind. We're gonna bring you into our lives on a Sunday. Shad has his life. He's with his family. He's doing his thing. I'm with my family doing my thing. But obviously, the world stops turning when it comes to watching the Broncos each and every Sunday. And pretty early in the second quarter, I texted you. What?
Yes. Outcoached again.
Outcoached again. You know something? Let's just start right there, Shad. And for the love of God, I get so tired of hearing about it. This is a good loss. We're going to learn from it. We're going to make the corrections. We've been hearing this crap now.
When does the learning start?
Oh, my God. Yeah, we must be on a 5-year plan for learning. You know, we need to get our coaching staff off the short bus and actually start learning about a guy that I just cannot stand. I cannot stand Bill Belichick. You guys out there, you agree with me. Josh McDaniels, up yours. But they do one thing very, very well. They game plan well. It showed quite obviously how well they game plan, and once again, here we are, short end of the stick. Yeah,
no, I think we got a mess on our hands, Danny. Yeah. There's no way I mean, all your points are valid. I mean, obviously, it's rough for Bronco fans to see that. You know, no matter how much we hate him, he's a great coach, and he knows how to play Peyton Manning.
Certainly.
That's why Brady's won, 11 of the 16 matchups. So I think we've got bigger problems on our hands, and then we'll talk about the positive here, because I think we're still on our way to going to a Super Bowl. But if that requires us going through New England, we are in big trouble. Right. If that requires us going through Indianapolis, I think we have some troubles. I think if it involves us going through Pittsburgh, and the reason I say that, Danny, is because if you take away the Jets game, right, arguably the worst team in the NFL, if not the team we're going to play this coming week, right? You look at the last 3 Bronco games, you got the Seahawks playing in the Super Bowl, you got the Seahawks in the regular season, and you got that New England game.
So it seems like, Shad, when I'm hearing you say, anytime that there's a big game, do you think it's the are we out coaching ourselves?
Well,
are we out thinking ourselves?
It's a big game on the road. I think we're not there. I mean, you saw it in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Unprepared. Very unprepared. You know, we go back to Seattle again. You see this New England game. So I think it's a combination of things. So one, coaching. Obviously, they're not at that level. John Fox is not at Belichick's level. That's just a fact, fans. I mean, you can get pissed all you want. That's a fact. Number 2, in those 3 games I just mentioned, Peyton Manning has a quarterback rating of 49.
Pretty piss poor when you talk about a guy. Buddy. You know, we celebrate all the big records and all the achievements. Yes,
he's doing a great job. Maybe the best regular season quarterback to ever play the game.
Everybody knows about Peyton's prep.
Yes.
Nobody preps harder, more thoroughly than Peyton Manning. And again, I honest to God, I just don't know if we're overthinking this. At one point, I even said to you, I wish we would have just game planned for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let it hang out, because what we don't see in these big games, Shad, is the Denver Broncos. We see this vanilla, yeah. We see this lollygagging vanilla offense and defense. 4th down. Let's just talk about 4th down. What do we do on 4th down?
Well, we kick field goals that hit the goalpost, then we pass on kicking field goals because we lost all confidence in our kicker. Then we decide we're going to get
right. You know. And Peyton Manning gets sacked.
Yes.
What do we do? What do we do against Tom Brady? We bring a soft 4, try to keep everybody in front of us, and they just keep having the successes. I don't know if it's a ball issue, Shad, and I just don't get it. I don't know if it's an overthinking process. Are they scared? For God's sakes, you need to try something else, because every one of these, it's a good loss. It's a learning experience. We can make those corrections. Still has not happened.
Yeah. Yeah,
and if that's the case, we're going to be another 14-2 team that gets waxed in the playoffs and or Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's why it's confusing, and that's why it's got us a little stirred up, is because we've said we're going to win now with Peyton Manning. Well, the first year it didn't really happen. Second year we got to the Super Bowl, got embarrassed. And then when you see a game like that against New England, you start to think, okay, are we going to be, when's that year happening?
Right.
Because we're running out of Peyton Manning time.
It's the SOS factor. It's the same old stuff.
And you know what screwed it all up, Danny?
What?
It's all screwed up is Tim Tebow. Because when the Broncos were losing to get Luck, all you got to do is look back at Bronco Planet. I mean, no one loved Luck more than us from college. We were all in that suck for Luck bandwagon, although a magical year in many ways, like Lucky Charms, Danny.
Right, sure.
Magical year with Tim Tebow. He kept winning those games, and we should have been losing games, and got Andrew Luck. And had we had Andrew Luck now, we don't have to worry about this. But we got all our eggs in one basket because we won those games those years.
Okay.
We didn't have a shot for Andrew Luck, and now those eggs are not.
Devil's advocate here.
Okay.
So you're saying Andrew Luck. And believe me, I was on that bandwagon, folks, so don't think that I wasn't, because I was.
We got shows to prove it. Just go back. Look at the archives.
YouTube, crank it back a couple years. You'll see the Suck for Luck flag planted firmly on this desk. But the bottom line is that it doesn't matter if it's Peyton Manning or Andrew Luck. You still got the same piss-poor coaching aspect leading this Denver Broncos we've talked about going for the neck. We talked about stepping on guys' necks, choking them out, putting them in the dirt for good, and we always let them come back. We've seen soft piss poor game planning when it comes into the big games. We saw it once again this week. Guys, just really
watch it. Be honest with yourself.
For God's sakes, I get that you got to have a matchup with this guy and that guy, and you're going to put this guy on that guy, and whatever genius that came up with Von Miller to cover Rob Gronkowski. Yeah, you need to get fired
That's
now.
When you call it timeout.
You need to go freshen up your resume and go back to Best Buy or whatever piece of crap rock that you crawled out under, and go back there simply because you obviously don't get it.
Yeah, and here's another thing you don't get. We have Julius.
Yes. So I thought you were done with your rant. You got more? Yes. Oh my God! It's just maybe it's more complicated than what we, your average Joes, your average Bronco fans are witnessing. But good God, enough is enough. No more learning. Just play football. Be who you are. And was the Broncos who what you saw Sunday? Was that the team that you expected to see?
Danny.
No, not at all.
I'm not here to argue with you. So
all right.
I like to argue with you, but I happen to agree with you on this point. We definitely missed a boat. We missed a boat in getting Julius Thomas the ball. And by the way, the 3 games I mentioned earlier,
here's a stat point.
Julius Thomas, in those 3 games, 77 yards total, not even 100 yards. This is our all-pro guy, right? So I know we got a little more weapons.
How many touchdowns on the years you got? Oh, that's right, 10.
Yeah, and we didn't bother to throw to him but 2 times in this game. So yeah, I don't understand the logic. I knew, and you talked about our family thing. The first 2 drives, when we handed off, we tried nickel and dime, little passes, handoffs. I looked at my son and I said, we're done.
We're done.
We will lose this game.
Yep.
Love the Broncos. I've watched it enough. I've been watching them since I was 3 years old. Trust me, when I saw those 2 drives, it was over. And officially, it was over.
Yeah. All right, so...
Speaking of over, we've been rambling a little bit.
Yeah.
And we did have an oversight on... We have some poor planning on our side. Call it a Fox move, if you will. But we had won 2 games in a row.
Right.
And we didn't go to our buddy Prize Monkey. And as all those guys that follow us, right? You know that we don't go to Prize Monkey when we lose. But we had won a couple games. And so we're going to rewind backwards. Give it a little Prize Monkey.
Cue the monkey, which is much better than talking about John Fox's game plan.
Yeah.
Prize monkey, that monkey's funky.
Say what?
Prize monkey, that monkey's funky.
Alrighty, folks, when you're coming off a tough loss like this, nothing makes you feel a little bit better about what you got going on than a Prize Monkey, Shaddy.
Prize Monkey, well, we're going to do something a little different. We want to recognize all those YouTube followers. So when we post this video, the very first comment underneath the video, we are going to give away 3 prizes, folks. 3 prizes to some of you YouTube followers that have been following us a long time and adding your comments. You'll see your name there. We're giving away some T-shirts. We're giving away a great John Elway picture here holding up the trophy from back in the day. Hell, we got to look back at the old days because we ain't seen the trophy
That's
around
the only
here
thing that's keeping me going right
now. And we also have some great other Bronco memorabilia. So you'll see it right there in the comments. YouTube, if you follow us on Facebook and some of the other areas, just go to YouTube, look up Bronco Planet channel. You'll see this video on the comments. There we'll go. 3 winners.
All right, so here's the deal. The rant is over. And if you were hiding under a rock, like the defensive coordinator was this past week, you'll know that this is Raider Week.
Yeah, Raider Week.
Yep, absolutely, Shaddy. We're on the road. It seems like that's all we're doing here lately is on the road.
Well, we did have a lot of games at home, and it is a little, I'm telling you, it's getting harder and harder every year. The Raiders have been so pathetic for so long, I don't even really get up for Raider Week.
Right. Well, it's a little bit different. A little bit different. I think they're a little bit different team. Dennis Allen.
John Madden. God, I hate it when John Madden gets us. Al Davis has been dead for years. Right. There's nothing about that team that's intimidating, scary, although they put 24 points on the Sea Chickens. But we know the reason that is because Seattle had like half their lineup out, right? They barely could put a team together.
Totally different team, though. You know, under Dennis Allen, obviously, their losses were almost what you could categorize as just pathetic, almost New York Jets-like.
Yeah.
Tony Sperano is leading the pack now. They are still losing. They've got that streak intact, but they're actually starting to play a little better. Derek Carr playing a little better. I totally agree with you that the shine of Raider Week is a little bit off. Gets a little more intense at home simply because, you know, it's at home. It's in our house. How does Denver go into Oakland after this embarrassing loss?
Well, you've said it already on this show. You just be who you are. We come out, we try Mickey Mouse, and we try and run, and we do a little nickel and dime bull crap. Peyton's got to be pissed. Peyton says, hey, you know what? I sucked that game. Yep. Well, Peyton, you sucked in a few games on the road. We know that now. All right? Peyton's got to come out pissed. People were ready to wash up Tom Brady early in the year. What about Ben Roethlisberger? How many people were ready to fire their coach in Pittsburgh and get rid of him? Same thing here with Manning. We're not down on Manning. I know I talked about luck earlier, but Peyton Manning is going to come out and he's going to play well. I'm not worried about this game. We do have some games you better worry about. You got the Dolphins coming up. That ain't going to be easy. You got the Buffalo Bills are playing. You got to go on the road and play late in the season in the cold against the Bengals. So, and we got to play San Diego. And so there's no easy street on the way home. It's a little bit easier than the Patriots got it. But I mean, if you know what, get on your knees and start praying that we don't have to go to Foxborough in the playoffs, because that will be a scary moment. And then speaking of praying, hey, Peyton, just because Jacob Tammy goes to your prayer group, that doesn't mean you got to throw to him 3 times when he's covered, all right? Exactly. So, get the ball to your all-pro tight end. Every once in a while, I like a little sprinkle of Jacob Tammy, not 3 attempts when you got an all-pro Julius Thomas sitting around twiddling his thumbs.
Let's just say this. Say that this little weekly show is an actual one-on-one, and you're looking into the eyes of John Fox right now, and there's one specific thing that or advice that you could give him. What would it be?
Throw the freaking ball. Don't run to set up the pass. Have some guts, have some balls, go out there and throw the ball, John Fox. And utilize your all-pro tight end, spread it around, take some chances. I mean, John Fox has got to step it up. I know he's not the offensive coordinator. I know Peyton Manning, for the most part, and Adam are calling the shots, but it's all set by your demeanor, about your attitude, how you're going to approach a game. And I could tell 2 minutes in that it was flawed from the last time.
You know, you just talked about growing a set of balls. Jack Del Rio, you've got a pretty damn good defense behind you. You might want to start pinning those ears back. The second thing that I would say to you, John Fox, that experiment at right tackle needs to end right now. Okay, it's obviously has not worked. Was it good, with Clark in there before? It was all right, but it certainly is not the freaking train wreck that it is right now.
I guess it's a disaster.
Again, this is not rocket science here. You've got so much talent. You brought in so much talent, and it's like a bunch of cage dogs that you have on a leash, and you just won't let them go. Let the dogs go. Be who you are, just like Shad said. Just be who you are. How long have we been preaching this shit? For God's sake.
Watch our show. We're talking about it.
If Nichols were preaches, we'd have a few damn Nichols. I'll tell you that right now. And because it's not that damn hard, not overly complicated. Stop overthinking it. Stop out game planning yourself when it comes to big games, and just be who you are.
And get a lot more practice for McNuggets. that kicker.
McManus, right.
I know, I call him McNuggets because I mean that's a worry too. There's some other worries that we have. We certainly got. I mean, we got Irving out now. We got McNuggets behind kicking.
Folks, again, you know, if this is your first time here, please do go to YouTube and look at our old shows. It was just a few shows ago, I believe week 4, week 5, when Matt Prater was officially released. One of the biggest deals that you yapped about was,
hey, big games. Who's going to come through for you?
Who's going to come through for us? Not that a 40-something to 20-something ass kicking would have made a big bit of difference, but at some point from now going forward and into the playoffs, Brandon McManus or McNuggets, yeah, it's going to be a big deal. It's going to matter. So it's you know.
It's nerve-wracking.
It is nerve-wracking when you have greatness, folks. Greatness is right here, and then you just you turn it into something mediocre. And believe me when I tell you, John Elway did not come into this position to put a mediocre team together. We didn't spend the millions, the tens of millions of dollars putting together this team this year to be mediocre. Utilize the talent that you got, and hopefully good things will come, Shaddy.
I've got no more to say, Dan.
All right, me too. I'm done over this rant. You know, I can't remember being so pissed off, upset when it's Raider week, but that's kind of where this whole thing has led us to. We will be back next week. We sure do. Thank you for joining in. For Shad, I'm Danny. This is Bronco Planet.